Still facing waves of backlash after he said he could not support a Muslim for president who didn't renounce Sharia law, to just summarize. And the Republican presidential candidate is standing firm, saying the real problem is our country's political correctness. Listen.
The PC culture says whenever you're asked a question, it has to be answered in a certain way. And if you don't answer it that way, then let's attack.
Well, this is the Washington Times reports that Carson's fundraising has skyrocketed since the controversial interview, especially at a super PAC. Republican presidential candidate Dr. Ben Carson joins us right now. Dr. Carson, a Meet the Press interview was turned into a 3-day story, maybe even a bigger story. Are you surprised?
I wish I could say that I was surprised, but I've come to be familiarized with the PC culture. And I'm willing to fight it. Somebody has to stand up for who we are. America is a very unique place. And you'll notice that there's an American way, but there's no French way, there's no Canadian way, no Portuguese way. And we need to be proud of who we are. We ascended to the pinnacle, and the highest pinnacle anyone has ever reached in a record time because of the values and principles that we have. We don't need to be anybody else. We are who we are.
So is it true that your super PAC is getting types of record donations as well as your personal coffers? And if so, how much money has been garnered since your comments on Sunday?
We have, the money's been coming in so fast it's hard to even keep up with it. And I remember the day of the last debate, within 24 hours we'd raised $1 million. And it's coming in at least at that rate, if not quite a bit faster.
All right. You're getting criticism.
And there's over 550 donations.
So 550 donations, but you would talk when you would hear that a lot of your
550,000.
550,000 since Sunday?
No. Since we announced.
Okay. Here is you have Josh Earnest, Lindsey Graham, and Carly Fiorina, who had a problem with your comments. Listen.
The views articulated by Dr. Carson are entirely inconsistent with the Constitution that does actually guarantee the freedom of religion in this country. Ultimately, there will be consequences.
I think this shows that Dr. Carson's not ready to be commander-in-chief.
Well, I think that's wrong. It says in our Constitution that religion cannot be a test for office.
So your reaction to those on the right?
My reaction to anyone is that I never said that a person could not run for office. I just said I wouldn't support them. Do I not have a right to support what I want to support? I want to support what made this nation great and what made us unique. I want to support the things that gave me an opportunity to come from nowhere to rise to a very high position in our society. I want that for the people who are coming after us. I have been a pediatric neurosurgeon. I care about what happens in terms of the quality of life for the next generation. I will continue to fight for that. And if it costs me politically, it does.
All right, one area, there's a couple of things raging right now in the news. What's happening in Syria, you have General David Petraeus saying yesterday, what's happening in Syria right now is a Chernobyl on the region. And you also have soaring pharmaceutical costs, and we're seeing this right now, where people have an opportunity to make huge profits and maybe deny others who need medicine. First off, on David Petraeus' statement yesterday, are your reaction to it?
Well, yeah, I'm very sad to see what's going on in Syria, and I do feel for those individuals, and I think we should be helping. But the way that we should help is with our expertise, perhaps with some financial help, to settle them in the area where they're coming from. The nations of the Arabian Peninsula and Turkey have to solve this problem. This is a regional problem as far as I'm concerned. And we must also take into consideration the fact that the jihadists, they want to infiltrate our nation. They're looking for every mechanism that they can. We have to exercise something that even resembles common sense here.
And taking in 100,000 does not please you?
No, of course not. That would be foolishness to take in people from a region where we don't have any way of making a determination of whether this person is radicalized already or is potentially radicalized. And we also have millions of people in this country who are already suffering, who are poor. And we need to be dealing with that before we start bringing in a bunch of other people. Why don't we ever think about putting Americans first?
All right, and right now they're meeting in Europe about that, the refugee situation, as well as trying to figure out what the Russians are doing on the ground. Dr. Ben Carson, the money's coming in, but the controversial still remains. Thanks so much for further clarifying this morning and joining us. Thanks, and good luck the rest of the way.